And press record. Still no stuff. And we are live.
Welcome to the Creating Excellence, how to effectively eliminate self-sabotage to lead work life, elevate energy, and achieve success. This is an interview series where we dive deep into the minds of high-performing leaders and industry experts to unlock the strategies behind their success. Each episode offers you invaluable insights that you can apply to elevate your personal and professional life. Be sure to check out the description below for more details about today's guest. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on the actionable tips and strategies from these experts. Also, you can access exclusive free gifts and resources from our experts that will support you on your journey to excellence. Today's gift is my friend Jennifer Reimund. And we actually have a crazy story, but we ain't gonna get too far into it on this episode. But hello, Jennifer. How are you? Or Jen? Let me go. How you doing, Jen?
Hey, Jen.
I'm so happy to be in your presence again. So we got to meet in Puerto Rico. We won't go into the story because it's a very we could get lost in the whole thing. But yeah, like I guess you want me to introduce myself. I'm Jen. I am the owner of Revive Hypnosis, which encompasses a little melding of the subconscious and the conscious mind to really help female entrepreneurs release any blocks that might have been holding them back so they can find their self-worth, so they can find their voice, so that they can hit their next level of success. So I am honored, you guys, for being here. And yeah, let's take it away.
Yes, love it. And so, Jen, we've never really spoken before, and what you provide is very interesting. So, and I want the audience to really get an understanding of this, an understanding of like subconscious barriers, trauma, like all of this sounds serious. It sounds like I'm in horror, but at the core of it, what are subconscious blocks and where do they come from?
Yeah. So your subconscious blocks are typically an event that happened when you are between the ages of 0 to 7. And when we talk about trauma, a lot of people think about trauma as, like as you were saying, the big ticket items, like the abuse, the accidents, the big events that you kind of like get an icky feeling about, right? But there's actually what's called little t traumas as well. So little t traumas are those smaller events, those things that, you know, kind of implant themselves inside of your emotional memory. It could be something as little as like you were a young child with a project that you were super excited about, or a picture that you drew, and you're trying to show mom or dad and they're completely ignoring you. They're not giving you the attention that you feel like you really wanted because you were excited, and they're just like, engulfed in whatever they're doing. Not anything wrong on their parts, but to your child's self, it's traumatic. It's giving you an imprint or what we call a limiting decision that you're telling yourself, you're deciding something about yourself from this point on, that maybe I'm not important. Maybe I'm not worthy. And so you go through life with this imprint, this decision about yourself. And every single time that happens from then on, it's further evidence that I'm not enough. So we lead our lives in this way with these imprints way in the back of our minds, way like stored inside of our bodies. And we hold ourselves back. We play small. We keep ourselves inside of a cage. We have these programs that we get from outside sources and our parents and our caregivers that, we can only do certain things a certain way, that we have to sit in class, sit down, shut up, don't cause a ruckus. And that we have to do things a certain way when it comes to get a job, go to college, like all of these things. So we're living much inside of a box. And when we start to try to break free from that box, we'll try to change. Our subconscious mind is like, hold on, you know, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't know, you know, the unknowns of this. This is not conducive to survival anymore. So when you're trying to change your path and your career and your success point, and you know, being in abundance, being wealthy, your subconscious mind will hit you with some blocks. It'll hit you with some negative thinking, and then you essentially find yourself in a stuck area. You're in a stuck mindset, and you talk down to yourself until you go back to your comfort zone, bring yourself back, put yourself back in the box. So really uncovering that, getting down to those root blocks, those root emotions, those root happenings, and releasing them, changing the emotions behind them, changing the, you know, how deep of a imprint it is on you, and rewiring that. That's kind of what I do, is going back and healing it, and then all of the events from then until now, so that you're able to break outside of that box.
Oof, that's powerful. I was getting these visuals of emotional memory like manifested. Like imagine like a physical version of and just trying to block you out, and that can be scary, and I can see why it can be a block. I can see why I can see why these events, these major events that triggered us in a major way have can really affect how we operate like how we operate in our actions without us even knowing. And so it's
Even
like,
small events too. Like it doesn't have to be a big event. Those can actually, it's funny because the smaller ones can even be more impactful than the big ones, which is crazy to me, right? But, you know, it's a decision. It's you're imprinting yourself. It's essentially like staying stuck in that state that you were, where you didn't have your needs met, and then living life as an adult with like this toddler self that's inside of you that, you know, it's like, I just want to be loved. I just want to be accepted.
Yeah, this is such a powerful conversation, because as you were talking, like again, I remember certain moments as a kid. I'm like, oh, I'm never doing that again, or oh, like I remember the decision being made in certain things, but I never really saw it as being a traumatic
Mhm.
instance, even though when I look back at some of the decisions I made, some of the things, the ways that I act, the way that I show up, it was based on that time I made that decision. Because it happened to me a few times of me like, oh, well, I'm going to be like this, or anytime this happens, I'm going to react like this, you know, as a kid, you know. And so I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize it was trauma, you know. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm building myself. So that is so beautiful how you actually even just explain the journey of, you know, how we build these beliefs and how we have these thoughts in our subconscious. For somebody who really wants to fix themselves, they want to heal, but also they have that little bit of resistance of like, and this sounds like so much work, it's scary, it's icky, like I don't want to cry, like, you know, for those people who are resistant to being in control of their life, of their future, of their emotions, or, you know, even just building a relationship, a healthy relationship with that, what advice would you give to them? What are some strategies you suggest, some work that could support them and to going into that journey?
Yeah. So, yes, it is scary. I will say that a lot of people don't really want to revisit their trauma. So they're really scared that if they're going to go down this path to heal themselves, that they have to go through the same experience again in order to heal. And that is completely untrue. When you're dealing with hypnosis and breath work, which is two of the very big tools that I use, yes, there's some emotions that bubble out from those things, but it's not like talk therapy, for instance, where you're going in front of a therapist and you're essentially reliving that experience. You're talking it out, you're re-experiencing it, and it really actually puts a downer on your emotional body. because, it's re-experiencing it. So when we're going through hypnosis or breath work, we're putting you in a trance like state. And when you're in trance, you're very safe, you're very comfortable, you feel really good. And even going back to the main event, these traumas that happened in the past, you're revisiting it to take the charge off of it, but you're not reliving it. So again, you're rewiring, you're taking those emotions and you're making them neutral. So instead of them being like this supercharged, like anger, sadness, fear, guilt, those are some of the main emotions that I release. You come back to that authentic person, that essence of the being that you were before the traumas, before you were harmed in those ways, and realizing life, realizing all the events from then until now without that emotion being unbearable. So when we talk about not having to relive the event, but you are releasing, the way the body releases is through emotion. So it's very normal to cry. It's very normal to, shake or scream or, whatever you need to do. But the point is, we get to release it, because the longer that it stays in the body, the longer that the body holds on to it, the more you're caking on all of those borders and walls and, mud and gunk, and protecting yourself to where you can't break free. So storing it in the body in itself can lead to, not only dysregulation of the nervous system, but pains and sickness. Even it can lead to disease, cancers. So it's really amazing that, to me, how much of the mind is in charge of your overall health, not only mentally but physically.
What's powerful is that what, like, I hear when you talked about revisiting, but like not reliving that moment. I
Mm-hmm.
found that interesting because oftentimes, sometimes we think we have a fear of failure, but oftentimes it's a fear of success, or so a fear of that the outcome that exists somewhere out in our emotions to exist. Well, and it's funny because I think, of course, that fear of success ties into a fear of actually being abundant, because we're not emotionally ready to deal with what that outcome is going to be, even though it's going to serve us for the best. So I want you to walk us through, like, how can these subconscious blocks, and these emotional traumas actually block, like, money and abundance from actually coming into and flowing in our life. Like, tell us about that.
Yeah. So, of course, it's a deeper thing that's going on.
Yeah.
When your fear of failure or fear of success, generally it comes down to being outside of your comfort level. Your subconscious mind, its main things are to keep you safe, keep you comfortable, keep you alive. So it doesn't care if you are uncomfortable where you're at right now. It doesn't care if you hate, where you're at. And when you are having that fear of success, a lot of the times it has to do with, how am I going to be seen if I am successful? If you have a block around rich people being, pompous, whatever, what you want to call them, right? If you have a story inside of your head that, once people win the lottery or something of that sort, they end up losing it, or that their families come and take all their money away from them. So that's, you're scared. Essentially, your subconscious is scared that if you are one of those rich people, you have a lot of money, that it's going to get taken from you, that your relationships might dissolve because you have to then deal with this, your family wanting money, and you can't give everything away because then you have nothing left for yourself, or like hitting that success and then immediately dropping down back into like poverty. So it's something that is a story or a imprint that has been maybe told to you by caregivers, or something that was developed at a young age.
Sheesh. Is everyone hearing this? it, we have to make a list and see, okay, where was I at age 7? Where was I at age 6? Who was my caregiver? What did they, how they, that's wow.
Yeah, and also I know that there may be some people who may be new to hypnosis or breath work. I personally have done breath work, and I've had some, I mean, beautiful experience. I actually did a session with Jen. I actually did a session with Jen, and she's right. Is there a major difference between breath work and hypnosis?
Oh yeah, what's the
Yes.
differences?
Yeah. So hypnosis, I mean, it's a lot like meditation. So hypnosis, you're getting put into a trance-like state, but it's not like what you would see on the media, like you're going to be barking like a dog or anything like that. It would, it's not mind control. So that's one of the
Yeah.
very important distinctions to make, is that you are in full control. So again, it's like meditation, but hypnosis, and like meditation as well, it's very easy for your mind to start to run away. So what I like about breath work, in the sense that you can still go into trance with breath work, you're essentially putting your body into a hyper oxygenated state, which is also essentially putting you into a fight or flight response. It's controlled. And as you do the breath or the breathing exercises for a certain amount of time, you go and put yourself into a trance like state, but you're so focused on the breathing exercise that your mind doesn't run away from you. So I kind of mix them together. I feel like that's the best way to really do things efficiently, because then once you are in that trance like state with the breath work, you're focusing on the breath. I can talk to you with hypnotic affirmations and coach you to go deeper, so that we really unlock the doors to the subconscious mind and get those things healed.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes. Yeah. Like, and just for the people out there who are making stuff up, honestly, I'm like, always try things twice to know if you really like it. But I did a few sessions before I met Jen, and I actually did a session with Jen, and the way she guides you, you don't feel alone. It doesn't feel scary. And then sometimes, your body is reacting and releasing, but you may not be able to mentally figure it out what's happening in the session. But after you decompress and then you talk to her, bounce ideas, saying, hey, I experienced this, it's a beautiful experience. So I mean, I highly recommend, if you are looking to do breath work, or you're looking for different strategies to heal yourself through your emotions, or if you deal with different things. I don't want to make any health claims because I don't know that, what I can and cannot say, but from my personal experience, I want to say I've done about like 5 sessions of breath work. It's not like working out. It's not like just meditation, because it's these different elements that you're having, and it gives you a real breakthrough experience. So I highly recommend it, and definitely, reach out to Jen and see, let her educate you, let her share. I know she has a lot of great opportunities happen right now. And so definitely, if this is something that's like, man, I really want to heal myself from my past, I've done it, and I will say I think that it is a great tool to get you through that emotional mental block that you may be dealing with. Jen, tell us a little bit more about the gift that you're sharing with the audience.
Yeah. So the gift is I mean, it's a small gift, little teaser, but it has the 9D elements to my breath work. So it's just like a little 12-minute recording. And the 9D, what that means is essentially it's 9 different dimensions of opening the subconscious mind. So it's not only the breath, but it's also me coaching you. It's also me giving you the hypnotic affirmations. It's putting binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies inside of the head, like headphones are preferred, but inside of the headphones and inside of the music. And it opens up different areas of your mind as I'm talking to you. So we might play a certain frequency to open up like an abundance part of your mind, or we might play a different one to open up to release traumas. So the 12-minute recording, it gets you there fast into that trance like state to release things. And then it also gives you a super energy boost. So I would say it's better than coffee, but I still like my coffee.
Yeah, yeah,
I love that.
and honestly, y'all, it's an incredible gift because it's like she's saying, it's not a small gift. Like this is giving you a trial, and she said it's 12 minutes. I think our session was an hour, but it like so much happens. You're like, man, it's only been an hour. You think it feels like a half of a day because you're having this experiential journey. And so definitely make sure you check the description below so you can get access to her gift. It's going to be on our gifts page, so you can see Jen's gift, so you can get access to that gift. So definitely, yeah, I'm just reflecting on our session together, and just her voice is so soothing, and you feel safe. You feel like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm not doing it alone. But also, she doesn't feel intrusive. Like her voice is so loving and so nurturing and so kind. So definitely go ahead and check the description box so you can get access to her gift if you're interested to learn a little bit more about breath work or just working and learning more about Jen. All her details and everything are in the description. Jen, what are some last words that you would like to share with the audience to empower them to actually overcome this self-sabotage and to get to that level of success that they're seeking?
Yeah. So you're not broken. Like we all have this successful essence inside of us, this being that we've kind of suppressed, and we get to release and we get to live the life of our dreams. We get to live in abundance and happiness and joy and gratitude and love. So it's really important to me that I be the change in the world and I deliver the change to other people. Like whether it's you're working with me or you're just grabbing some of my free stuff, I really empower people to see their true selves, the person that is underneath all of the gunk and the blocks that we had to build up throughout our lives.
Mm. You can't create your best under emotional duress.
Yes.
So
That's the catchphrase.
pretty much. Yeah, so Jen, thank you again. And anyone in that's tuning in, please share your like key insights and valuable takeaways. Like what stood out to you the most from this conversation? Share your thoughts in the comments because we'd love to hear your perspective. And don't forget to hit that notification bell and tune in to more dynamic interviews like this to come so that you can get your questions answered in real time. You can see uh, amazing guests like Jen in real time and grab their gifts in real time and get access to our gifts page, which is going to help you not only achieve excellence, align your goals, your time, your energy, and elevate you every step of the way. Okay, so with that being said, Zay, any last words?
Uh, no, not at the moment. I think this was a beautiful episode because it literally is targeting self-sabotage right in it, because there's so many things that we think, oh well, I have a therapist, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I think we have as a society, like we don't understand some of these modalities that people are actually doing, and they're healing themselves, and they're safe, and they are, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's actually, because when we think of ourselves, we are not just bodies, we are
Mhm.
emotions, we are spiritual, we are we are made up of complexities. And so being able to heal our spiritual, our mental, our emotional selves through these different modalities, I think what you're doing, Jen, is so beautiful. Thank you for the work that you do. And I really hope that people um really like say, hey, you know what, I'm working on my health, I'm working on my physical health, but let me get on my emotional health, let
Mm.
me get on my, spirit. For me, it was a spiritual experience, and so yeah, it's definitely beautiful. And like Devan said, make sure you go ahead and check the description below so you can get access to her gift. She's gifting you 12 minutes of a session, what it would be like with her. And remember, achieving excellence start like that, it starts with you, it starts with uncovering all that things we're afraid of. And a lot of times it's beautiful. So we will see you on the next episode. Talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.